Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Let's take a deep breath in and get settled. Settling in to your mind, to your body, to a quiet space, within. Everything starts in your beautiful mind. You want the day to run smoothly, to be calm and productive, efficient, effective, flowing easily. It starts with you. How you look at the world, what you believe is true, manifests as your life. So let's think about how we want this day to go. I want it to be productive and easy. I want it to be fun and happy. I want it to flow. I want any conflicts to resolve easily. Your brain is like an electronic switching station. So I want you to tune in to the frequency of ease, flow, universal intelligence, divine love, to the channel that says, I know everything is working out for my greater good, for the greater good of all. I want to read to you from The Hidden Power by Thomas Troward, chapter 11, called Yourself. The first time I heard this, I was with Bob Proctor, my beloved mentor and personal and professional development guru, in April of 2017. And he suggested that we read this every single day. I want to talk to you about the livingness there is in being yourself. It has at least the merit of simplicity, for it must surely be easier to be oneself than to be something or somebody else. Yet that is what so many are constantly trying to do. The self that is their own is not good enough for them, so they are always trying to go one better than what God has made them, with endless strain and struggle as the consequence. Of course, they are right to put before them an ideal infinitely grander than anything they have yet attained. The only possible way of progress is by following an ideal that is always a stage ahead of us. But the mistake is in not seeing that its attainment is a matter of growth. And that growth must be the expansion of something that already exists in us, and therefore implies our being what we are and where we are as its starting point. This growth is a continuous process, and we cannot do next month's growth without first doing this month's. But we are always wanting to jump into some ideal of the future, not seeing that we can reach it only by steadily going on from where we are now. Bob would say, you need to permit it to grow, to flow, to manifest into form. The big change is inside, not outside of ourselves. It's right here, it's right now. Start where you are and believe that you've already got what it takes. Thomas Troward goes on to say these considerations should make us more confident and more comfortable. We are employing a force which is much greater than we believe ourselves to be, yet it is not separate from us and needing to be persuaded or compelled or inveigled into doing what we want. It is the substratum of our own being, which is continually passing up into manifestation on the visible plane and becoming that personal self to which we often limit our attention without considering whence it proceeds. But in truth, the outer self is the surface growth of that individuality which lies concealed far down in the deeps below, and which is none other than the spirit of life, which underlies all forms of manifestation. Now, Bob would suggest that we read the Edinburgh Lectures on Mental Science. He says, science is the effect of the spiritual side of you. He would also say that science studies the effect and religion studies the cause. But the entire universe is based on cause and effect. The energy that you put out is the energy that comes back to you. That's why I suggest that you take time to sit quietly, to breathe in divine love, to tap into infinite intelligence, to get yourself into a quiet state of being and tap into the spiritual side of you. And as you believe in your dream, in your goal, in yourself, in your own well-being, it manifests and it's provable through science. There is a power within each one of us that must be allowed to come to the surface. And Thomas Troward says, endeavor to realize what this spirit must be in itself. That is to say, apart from any conditions that arise from the various relations which necessarily establish themselves between its various forms of individualization. You yourself are an individual representation of spirit. In its homogeneous self, what else can it be but pure life, essence of life, if you like so to call it? Then realize that as essence of life, it exists in the innermost of every one of its forms of manifestation in as perfect simplicity as any we can attribute to it in our abstract conceptions. In this light, we shall see it to be the eternally self-generating power, which to express itself flows into form. This universal essence of life is a continually becoming into form. And since we are a part of nature, we do not need to go further than ourselves to find the life-giving energy at work with all its powers. Hence, all we have to do is to allow it to rise to the surface. We do not have to make it rise any more than the engineer who sinks the bore pipe for an artesian well has to make the water rise in it. The water does that by its own energy, springing as a fountain 100 feet into the air. Just so we shall find a fountain of essence of life ready to spring up in ourselves, inexhaustible and continually increasing in its flow, as one taught long ago to a woman at a wayside well. Bob Proctor said, accept that you have it. Each of us has it within us. And It's important to create the awareness to start to utilize this power that's within you. Recognize it is within us. Don't fight the existing reality, but start growing here and now. It's a simple matter of growth. Don't jump into the future and wish that you were there, but become aware that you have infinite potential. In The Hidden Power by Thomas Troward, he goes on to say, this upspringing of life essence is not another's, it is our own. It does not require deep studies, hard labors, weary journeyings to attain it. It is not the monopoly of this teacher or that writer whose lectures we must attend or whose books we must read to get it. It is the innermost of ourselves. And a little common sense thought as to how anything comes to be anything will soon convince us that the great inexhaustible life must be the very root and substance of us, permeating every fiber of our being. Surely to be this vast infinitude of living power must be enough to satisfy all our desires. And yet, this wonderful ideal is nothing else but what we already are in principio. It is all there in ourselves now, only awaiting our recognition for its manifestation. It is as we think our thoughts move into form. It is not the essence of life which has to grow, for that is eternally perfect in itself, but it is our recognition of it that has to grow. And this growth cannot be forced. Force negates. It must come by a natural process, the first necessity of which is to abstain from all straining after being something which at the present time we cannot naturally be. The law of our evolution has put us in possession of certain powers and opportunities, and our further development depends on our doing just what these powers and opportunities make it possible for us to do here and now. If we do what we are able to do today, it will open the way for us to do something better tomorrow. And in this manner, the growing process will proceed healthily and happily in a readily increasing ratio, a rapidly increasing ratio. This is so much easier than striving to compel things to be what they are not. And it is also so much more fruitful in good results. It is not sitting still doing nothing, and there is plenty of room for the exercise of all our mental faculties. But these mental faculties themselves, the outcome of the essence of life, and are not the creating power, but only that which gives direction to it. Now it is this moving power at the back of the various faculties that is the true innermost self. And if we realize the identity between the innermost and the outermost, we shall see that we therefore have at our present disposal all that is necessary for our unlimited development in the future. Thus, our livingness consists simply in being ourselves, only more so. And in recognizing this, we get rid of a great burden of unnecessary straining and striving. And in the place of the old strum and drang will be taken not by inertia, but by a joyous activity which knows that it always has the requisite power to manifest itself in forms of good and beauty. What matter it whither this leads us? If we are following the line of the beautiful and good, if we are focusing on doing good work, then we shall produce the beautiful and the good, and thus bring increasing joy into the world, whatever particular form it may assume. We limit ourselves when we try to fix accurately beforehand the particular form of good that we shall produce. We should aim not so much at having or making some particular thing as expressing all that we are. The expressing will grow out of realizing the treasures that are ours already and contemplating the beauty, the affirmative side of all that we are now, apart from the negative conceptions and detractions which veil this positive good from us. When we do this, we shall be astonished to see what possibilities reside in ourselves as we are, and with our present surroundings, all unlovely as we may deem them, and commencing to work at once upon whatever we find of affirmative in these, and withdrawing our thought from what we have hitherto seen of negative in them, the right road will open up before us, leading us in wonderful ways to the development of powers that we never suspected and the enjoyment of happiness that we never anticipated. So he's saying that no matter what your circumstances are, don't complain about how terrible they are. Look for what is good. And as you continue to look for the good, you will notice more good in your life. As you do more good, no matter what other people around you are doing, you focus on doing the right thing, the good, and the energy of your good works will increase and manifest. We're always learning and growing and becoming more aware of how to do things differently, how to think better thoughts, how to ask for guidance, how to follow the hunches that we receive from the infinite. Thomas Troward says, "We have never been out of our right path, only we've been walking in it backwards instead of forwards. And now that we have begun to follow the path in the right direction, we find that it is none other than the way of peace, the path of joy, and the road to eternal life." Don't walk backwards. Don't look back. Don't complain about what was or what is. Begin to follow the path in the right direction. We find that it is none other than the way of peace, the path of joy, and the road to eternal life. These things we may attain by simply living naturally with ourselves. It is because we are trying to be or do something which is not natural to us that we experience weariness and labor, where we should find all our activities joyously concentrated on objects which lead to their own accomplishment by the force of the love that we have for them. But when we make the grand discovery of how to live naturally, we shall find it to be all and more than all that we had ever desired, and our daily life will become a perpetual joy to ourselves, and we shall radiate light and life wherever we go. Keep studying. Continue day to day having a good attitude. And attitude is not just your thoughts, it's not your mood, Your attitude is a composite of your thoughts and your feelings and your actions. When you connect to divine, infinite potential, divine loving energy, and you ask for guidance for the day, you're thinking good thoughts, you're feeling wonderful, happy, joyous well-being, and that expresses itself through your actions. And as you act, the universe reacts. This is a law of cause and effect. This is a universe that as you think, so you become. As you continue to focus on what you really want, good health, health and vitality, strength and stamina, a wonderful mindset, love, happiness, and what you want for yourself is what you want for everyone. So you can send blessings to people who are bothering you, send them on their way, and focus on what are you doing well. Keep your attitude good. Keep your thoughts, your feelings, your actions the best that you can be from where you are now. And as you continue to think and feel and act from your best, you will find opportunities show up for you that you might have missed if you were in a bad mood, a negative attitude, or complaining about what is. Focus on the good, and the good appears. You don't have to worry about becoming someone else. You're just naturally growing and becoming the best version of you. It doesn't matter what other people are doing or saying or thinking. Let other people have their own opinions. Let other people create their own life. What are you bringing into your life? If you believe that your brain is an electronic switching station and you tap into, like turning the channel, the radio waves are bringing you the thoughts, the feelings, the actions that you tune into. Tune into your wants. Do you want peace? What does that feel like? Are you creating peace? Or are you causing chaos and havoc? Are you calmly going about your own business and letting people do what they do? Stay in the feeling of well-being as often as possible, as long as possible, and keep focusing on what do you want to create. Your subconscious mind does not recognize time or space. It communicates through vibrational frequency. There is a powerful force moving you towards what you really want. Get in tune with that, get in touch with it, get in harmony with it. Don't wish for it. Spend some time feeling how you would feel if you were already that, if you were already healthy and well, happy, at ease, life is flowing. You might say, I love life and life loves me, and look for evidence of that. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So as you feel good about you, as you feel good about what you have and what you're creating, the universal energy will just emanate from you and attract all the people, all the resources, everything that you need so that that becomes your physical reality. Physical reality is the last stage. Everything begins in your mind. So what kind of mental rehearsal, what's going on in your head all day long? What's going on in your head, you can tell in your heart. Are you feeling good? Are you feeling well-being? Are you feeling the faith that everything is always working out for the higher good? When you hold a vision of what you really want, that image stimulates ideas in your mind. As you stay in the energy of love and light, happiness, health and peace, abundance and prosperity, that's what you're creating. It may take a little bit of time to show up in your bank account, in your experience, but energy is always flowing to and through us. Energy is always transmuting into form. Life keeps getting better and better and better as you focus on feeling better and better and better. Your thoughts, your words, your actions, they all become your life. When we make the grand discovery of how to live naturally, we shall find it to be all and more than all that we had ever desired, and our daily life will become a perpetual joy to ourselves, and we shall radiate light and life wherever we go. Life just keeps getting better and better and better. Keep practicing. Keep feeling the energy of love and light. Keep radiating good and notice how wonderful your life becomes. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.